Hello, hello.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
I'm fine.
Okay.
A little tired.
I know. Did you have your first day of work after the vacation or did you work yesterday?
Um,
¿Trabajó ayer
the,
o ahora fue su primer
yes,
día?
yes, yesterday.
Yesterday. So
Yeah, I
today is your
coming.
second day. Coming back to
Yes,
work today. I
yes,
know. It's very tiring. After you have a vacation, no matter if it's 1 or 2 days, when you come back, you feel like sleepy, tired.
yes. In my uh, sería last, mi último,
Your last day of vacation?
my
Last
last day.
day of vacation?
On vacation. I give you flu.
You had the flu. You got the flu.
Yes,
You say, I got the flu.
yes,
Okay. Sorry to hear that. I hope you feel
yes.
better. The flu is very common right now because many people is around. And so the virus concentrates and it spreads. And because you attend people, you attend clients. So maybe one of that people came with the flu and you get infected.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hi, can you hear me?
Hello.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I don't
The
know what
can
happened.
freeze.
Yes, it was kind of freezing. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I will take a look on my internet to see what is happening.
yeah.
Okay, my dear, we are going to start the class in honor to you. It's 3 minutes before, but I would like just to introduce the objective for today. Today we will continue advancing in the 2.2 lesson objective from the platform. And it says that by the end of this lesson, participants will be able to understand and use simple present. So we will continue practicing simple present, okay? We are going to say hello to Noé that is connected right now. We have 3 minutes before starting the
Hello.
class. Hello, Noé, how are you today?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Fine, and you?
Fine. I was talking with Isabel that we feel like sleepy. This is a reaction of the body when you have a vacation and then you come back to work, you feel like, I want to sleep.
Okay, I think we are bad. I'm sleepy too.
Yes, but we will try to complete at least the class and then we go to sleep.
Okay.
Okay. Hello, Larissa. Hello, Katia. It's good to have you here in class. Okay, I'm going. Hello, my dears. I'm going to just briefly repeat the class objective for today. We continue with section 2. And by the end of this lesson, you will be able to understand and use simple present. So I'm going to share with you my screen for you to see what I'm watching. Okay, let's share this first. Okay, so I'm in this part of the class. Okay, lesson objective 2.2. So in that lesson, you have a video that it says grammar focus, and it's simple present with WH questions and statements. And then in the video, you will have expressions like, what do you do? Like the ones that we were practicing last night. Where do you work? Also, we practiced last night. Where do you go to school? That's a new expression. Where does Andrea work? What does she do? How does she like it? So those are the expressions you will find in that conversation. And then you have like the contracted form. For example, when someone asks you, what do you do? You say, I'm a student and I have a part-time job, like in the conversation. And for the question, where do you work? They use the expression, I work in a restaurant. Where do you go to school? They use the expression, I go to the University of Texas. Where does Andrea work? She works at Thomas Cook Travel. What does she do? She's a guide. She takes people on tours. How does she like it? She loves it. So they try to remember you that when you use the personal pronoun I, you, or any others, exception to third person, he, she, it, you use the verb as the base form, like work, take, study, teach, do, go, and have. But if you have a third person, it means he or she or it, you add an S to the verb and you say she works, she takes, she studies, she teaches, she does, she goes, she has. Okay? So I'm going to share with you now. Okay, so that's the platform part that we are going to work today. So I'm going to stop this sharing and I'm going to share my presentation that I have for you today. Okay. And let's see if I can share. Okay, this is my presentation. Okay, can you see my screen? ¿Pueden ver mi pantalla? Yes? Okay, yes. There I have an example of WH questions using simple present, okay? So, for example, I can ask questions like, where do you play? What do you play? Why does he play? Whom does she play with? When do we play? How do they play? Who plays the piano? Which piano does she play? Okay? Las preguntas, ¿a dónde juegas? ¿Qué juegas? ¿Por qué juega él? ¿Con quién juega él? Ella, perdón. ¿Cuándo jugamos nosotros? ¿Cómo juegan ellos? ¿Quién toca el piano? ¿Cuál piano toca ella? Okay? So those are questions using, if you see WH words, but then we have auxiliary do, and when there's a third person, I use the auxiliary does, okay? So I would like to start this exercise, and I would like that you can provide some questions. For example, let's see, what I'm going to do is to ask someone of you those questions, but then you will ask other people, and I would like that you can use then a third person to use the expressions, why does he play, or whom does he play with, okay? After we have the conversation, then the other person can ask about the same questions. So I'm going to start with Noé. Noé, do you play any sport?
Yes, I play tennis.
Okay, where do you play tennis?
In a tennis court.
Okay, and whom do you play with?
I play with my daughter.
With your daughter.
And my friend.
Okay, and when do you play?
I play on weekends.
On weekends. Okay, great. Thank you for the information. So,
okay.
Isabel, I hope you have paid attention. So I'm going to ask you some questions regarding to Noé. Le voy a hacer preguntas en relación a lo que dijo Noé. Whom does he play with? ¿Con quién juega Noé? Whom does he play with?
With a friend.
With his daughter.
And daughter.
Yes, he said that he plays with his daughter. Okay, when does he play?
On
On weekends, okay. And what sport does he play?
Tennis.
Yes, he plays tennis. Okay, great job. You capture all the information. Okay, so that's the exercise. So now, Isabel, now you choose a person to ask the questions, and then Noé is going to answer the questions that you are going to ask about the other person. Okay, so it's a trio. Es un
Okay.
trío, ¿verdad? Ahora Isabel le va a preguntar a alguien más y Noé va a poner atención a lo que la persona conteste, porque después Isabel le va a preguntar a Noé qué fue lo que dijo su interlocutor o interlocutora, que en este caso puede ser Katia, Larisa o Julie. Ok, go ahead.
Katia Lima.
Hi,
Hi, Katia. Where do you play?
I play in the house, friend's house.
Ok.
What do you play?
I play ping pong.
And what does she play?
Ok, listen, esa es pregunta que le va a hacer a Noé sobre Katia.
Okay.
Preguntémosle mejor a Katia directamente a ella. Why do you or when do you using you? Okay.
Okay. When do you play?
I play on Saturdays.
Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you, Katia. Now, Isabel, ask to Noé information about Katia's answers. Preguntémosle a Noé a ver si puso atención acerca de las preguntas que usted le hizo a Katia. Y ahí sí puede utilizar does she.
Okay. Okay, Noé. Where does she play?
She plays at home.
When does he play?
She plays. When does she
Sí,
play?
perdón.
When does she play?
She plays on Saturday.
And only 2 questions.
You did only 2 questions.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Noé and Isabel and Katia. Now, Katia,
Okay.
it's your turn to ask questions maybe to Larissa or to Julie.
Larissa,
Okay, go ahead, Katia. At least 3 questions.
okay. What do you play?
I play basketball.
Where do you play?
I play in my neighbor.
When do you? No. Well, sorry. When do you play?
I play on Sunday.
Okay.
Okay, great. Now, let's see, Julie or Barbara, who paid attention of the answers?
Bárbara.
Okay, Barbara. Katia is going to ask some questions regarding to Larissa's answers, Barbara. Can you listen to us? No sé si Bárbara nos está escuchando, chicos. Julie?
Julie.
Hello, Julie.
Hi.
Did you pay attention on the answers?
Yes.
Okay, so
Okay.
Katia, can you please ask to Julie the questions about Larissa's answers?
Where does Larissa play?
She plays on neighbor.
What does she play?
She plays basketball.
When does she play?
She plays on Saturday. Creo, no sé. No me acuerdo.
Monday.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Julie. Great job trying to guess the answers. Okay, now, Katia, I'm going to ask Larissa to ask Julie, and then Katia needs to pay attention in order to provide the answers again about that conversation, okay?
Okay.
Larissa, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, please
Okay.
ask to Julie.
Julie, what do you play?
I play soccer.
Where do you play?
I play in my house.
When do you play?
When.
No, where? Where
Where?
is okay.
Pues sí, eso dije.
Okay.
Ajá.
When do you play?
I play on Monday.
Okay.
Okay, great, thank you. Now, Katia, let's see.
Abajo.
Larissa is going to ask you the questions about Julie's answers, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Hi, Katia.
Hi.
What does Julie play?
She plays soccer.
She. Okay. Where does Julie play?
She plays in her house.
Okay. When does Julie play?
She plays on Monday.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, great job. Thank you very much, ladies. So now I would like that Julie can ask questions to Barbara, and now it's my dear friend, let's see, Larissa, who is going to answer the questions. Okay, are you ready, Barbara? Can you listen to us? Hello, Barbara. I'm not sure that Barbara is listening to us. Okay, welcome Arnold and welcome Nicolas.
Venga.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
teacher.
Hi, Arnold. Hi, Nicolas. Good to have you here. Okay, I'm happy to have you in the class. Okay, so Arnold, would you like to participate?
Ok, pero no
Julie?
mucho le sé porque voy.
Okay, Julie is
Conectándome.
asking you some questions. Julie le va a hacer algunas preguntas utilizando las estructuras que tenemos en la
Hola.
pantalla. Hola. Hello. Hello, hello.
Hola.
Hola, ¿me escuchan?
Yes.
Ok, perfecto. Les decía que Julie va a preguntarle, va a hacerle algunas preguntas a Arnold y nuestra amiga Larissa va a poner atención en las respuestas de Arnold porque después Julie le va a preguntar qué fue lo que Arnold contestó. ¿Ok? Y
Ok.
luego vamos a hacer esta dinámica entre Arnold, Julie y Nicolas. ¿Ok?
Okay.
Okay, Julie, go ahead and ask Arnold.
Okay, Arnold, what do you play?
I play basketball.
Okay. Why do he no
Do you?
sorry. Why do you play?
What?
Why?
Why?
¿Por qué? Why do you play basketball? ¿Por qué juega basketball?
I play basketball, but ¿cómo puedo poner?
Because, ¿por qué?
Because I like
it.
I like it.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Next question.
When do you play?
When do you play? Es cuando juego, ¿verdad?
Yes, when do you play basketball?
I play basketball weekend,
On weekends.
all weekend.
Okay, great. Thank you. Do you have more questions, Julie?
No.
Only that. Okay, my dear Larissa. Now, Julie, ask Larissa to see if she paid attention to Arnold answers.
A Larisa.
Yes.
Larisa. What does he play?
He plays basketball.
Why, why does he play basketball?
He plays basketball because he likes it.
Okay, next question.
When does he play?
He plays basketball on weekends.
Okay.
Okay, great. Okay, Barbarita says that she can listen to us, but we cannot listen to her. So don't worry, Barbara. We are happy to have you in the class, no matter that by now we cannot listen to you. Okay? Thank you, my dear Arnold, Julie, and Larissa. Okay, Arnold, now I would like that you can ask questions to Nicholas. And then Julie will pay attention because later Arnold will ask Julie about what Nicholas answered. Is it clear?
Yo le pregunto a Julie.
No, usted le va a preguntar a Nicolás y Julie va a poner atención de las respuestas de Nicolás y luego usted le pregunta qué fue lo que Nicolás dijo.
Okay. Nicholas, what do you play?
I play soccer.
Where do you play?
I play in the stadium,
Stadium, yes.
Why do you play?
I play soccer because is a complete sport.
Okay. More questions?
No.
Okay, that's all. Okay, thank you. Now,
Okay, Arnold.
Arnold, ask Julie to see if she paid attention, okay?
Okay. Julie, what does he play?
He plays soccer.
Where do he play?
Where does he play?
Does he play?
He plays on a stadium.
He plays at the stadium.
Stadium.
Uh-huh.
Bájale volumen, hija.
Okay, next question.
Why does he play?
He plays soccer because it's a complete sport.
Okay, great job. You were able, all of you were able to remember the answers of your classmates. So thank you very much. In this exercise, the objective was that you can ask questions using WH, not only for the subject you, but also for the subject he or she. It means using third person, singular. Okay, we are going to advance, and then I'm going to show you this slide, and it says, oops, let me see. Okay, it says that how do we ask a WH question? What's the structure? And here we have the WH word that can be what, where, when, which, why, and how. And then you add do or does. Remember that we use does when we have the third person singular, which is he, she, it. And then you add the subject, okay? This little blue icon means the subject. That can be a personal name or noun or a pronoun, right? And then you have the verb and then the complement, okay? For example, where do you work? And then you say, I work in a pharmacy, I work in a school, I work in an office. When does he go to the mall? And then you say in the answer, when does he go to the mall? He goes to the mall every afternoon. What do you do? You say, I am in my English class, or I am learning English right now, or you say, I am working, or the activity you are doing at that moment. So that's the structure, okay? So here I have other examples. Here, for example, it says, we have the question word plus the auxiliary plus the subject plus the verb in infinitive, and then the complement. When does Paula come? When does Paula come home? What do you drink for breakfast? Where does Paul live? Who does Paul live with? Who do you take the bus to? Or where do you take the bus to? Do you know Steve? Do you have a tissue? Can or could you help me, please? And it says, but in some cases, you don't need an auxiliary, okay? En algunos casos no necesitamos el auxiliar do. Ya vamos a ver cuándo son esos casos. Pero por ahora vemos la estructura WH word, el auxiliary do o does, ¿verdad? Y luego el subject más el verbo, en este caso dicen infinitivo, pero en realidad es en la forma base, ¿verdad? Y luego el complemento. So, I would like that you can ask at least 2 different questions to your classmates using that structure. Quiero que por lo menos hagamos 2 preguntas a nuestros compañeros de clase utilizando esos ejemplos. So, I'm going to start again. Voy a comenzar yo de nuevo, modeling with Noé. So I'm going to ask you, Noé, where do you live?
I live in Antiguo Cuscatlán.
Okay, great. Noé, where do you take the bus?
I take the bus at the bus stop.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you very much. So now you choose another classmate and ask different questions. Hágale diferentes preguntas. At least 2, por lo menos 2 preguntas. Noé, were you able to listen to us? ¿Nos pudo escuchar, Noé?
Yes, yes.
Le decía que si puede seleccionar a un compañero y hacerle 2 preguntas.
Okay. Isabel.
Okay, Isabel, you are the next.
What do you do, Isabel?
Hello, Isabel, where are you?
I thinking. Sorry. What do you do about?
No, es what do you do? ¿Qué haces? So you say, I'm taking my English class, or I'm resting at home. Okay.
Now I taking my class of English
class. Okay.
English class.
Okay. Where do you take the class?
In my house.
Okay. Thank you. Great. Thank you, Isabel and Noé. Now, Isabel, it's your turn to ask. Es su
Okay.
tiempo de preguntas. So you choose a classmate. Escoja un compañero.
Okay. Julie Hernández.
Okay.
Puedo tomar cualquier ejemplo, siempre
Yes.
los nombres que están ahí en la
En ese
pantalla.
caso es do you, where do you, porque le está
Ah,
preguntando directamente a Julie. Ujú.
Okay. What do you do?
I study.
And where do you study?
I study on University de El Salvador.
At University of El Salvador. Yes. Okay, great. Thank you, Isabel, and thank you, Julie. Now, Julie, you choose another classmate to ask 2 questions.
Okay. Quiero ver. Larisa.
Okay, Larissa, you are the
I ready.
right person.
Okay, Larisa. What do you do?
I am a teacher. I teach computer.
Okay, great job.
Where do you work?
I work at Universidad Tecnológica.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Julie and Larissa. So now, Larissa, it's your turn to ask. So you choose another classmate.
Okay, Nicolás.
Larissa.
Hello, Nicolás. How are you?
Hello, Larissa. Fine, thank you.
Okay, Nicolás. What does your mother live?
Model, live.
Yes, your mother.
Where does your mother live?
Modern. Mother.
Your mom.
Mom.
Ah, my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Mom, okay, my mother.
Yes.
Okay. My mother live in Ayutuxtepec City in San Salvador.
Okay, lives. My mother lives.
Live.
Lives, con S al final, ¿sí? Porque ya
Lives.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
great.
He, she, and it.
Yes.
Okay. Nicolás, how do you go to work?
Well, I go to work in a car.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so maybe the question was where, right? ¿A dónde?
No, how?
Okay, great. Good question and good answer. Okay, thank you very much, Larissa and Nicolas. So, Nicolas, it's your turn to ask.
Okay.
You may choose among the classmates that have not participated yet.
Barbara.
Hello.
Hi, Barbara. Good to listen to you.
Yes.
Okay, Barbara. The question.
Okay.
Where do you work, Barbara?
I work in Livisto.
Sorry?
I work in Livisto, laboratorio, Livisto.
Ah, okay. Okay. Other questions? Do you know, Barbara, do you know your partners of classmate?
To your classmates?
To your classmate?
Yes.
Repeat.
Barbarita, can you listen to us?
Okay, Barbara, repeat. Do you know your partners of classmate?
Do you know to your classmates, Barbara? Creo que perdimos a Bárbara, Nicolás. Sorry. Sí, ella tenía problemas con la conexión. Me mencionó que en algunos casos solo nos podía escuchar, pero no la podíamos escuchar a ella. Okay, Nicholas, thank you very much. So I would like that you can ask a question to Katia, maybe to Katia or to Arnold that have not participated yet. Let's see. Yes.
Katia Lima.
Yes, okay.
Hi, Nicolás.
Hi, Katia. Hello.
Hello.
Okay. Where do you live, Katia?
I live in San Juan Opico.
San Juan Pico.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know at all your parents of classmates?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, thank you, my dears. Solo una pequeñita corrección. Vamos a usar your partners o your classmates, porque ambos son sinónimos, ¿sí? Entonces,
Sí,
podemos preguntar, do you know your English class partners? Or you may say, do you know your classmates? ¿Sí? Entonces,
y la pregunta está bien, do you know at all your classmates?
sería, do you know two?
Do you know two?
All your classmates, or do you know to
All your classmates.
all your partners? Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you very much to you and Katia. Okay, then let's see. I would like to ask Katia to ask questions to Arnold.
Okay. Arnold.
Hi.
Hi. Where do you live?
I live in Sonsonate.
What do you drink for dinner?
I drink for dinner coffee.
Oh,
Okay.
delicious. Okay, great. Thank you. So we are going to continue. I think that nobody's missing. Only Barbara, but it's a problem of connection, so we cannot solve it right now. So let's continue. Thank you very much. Now you know how to ask additional questions using WH words and auxiliary do in this case. So I would like to go through the structure again and remind you that when we do WH questions, we start with the WH word, what, when, where, why, how often, and the auxiliary do or does if it's the case of he, she, it, and then the verb phrase. In this case, what do you do? Or when do I go? When does the train leave? Where do they come from? Where does Malika come from? Why do you need to? Why does he or she invoices? How do you work? How does it work? Ok, need two invoices. No me hacía sentido. Exactamente. ¿Por qué él o ella necesita dos facturas o por qué tú necesitas dos facturas? How often do they do? No tiene sentido. Sería, how often does it rain? ¿Qué tan a menudo llueve? No le hagan caso al day porque it doesn't make sense. Okay? So let's repeat. What do you do?
What do you do?
What does she do?
What does she do?
When do I go?
When do I go?
Do I go?
When does the train leave?
When does the train leave?
Where do they come from?
Where do they come from?
Where does Malika come from?
Where does
Where
Malika
does
come
come
from?
Why do you need two invoices?
Why do you need
Why do you need to invoice?
invoices?
Why does he need two invoices?
Why does he need to invoices?
How do you work?
How do you work?
How do you work?
How does it work?
How does
How
it
does
work?
it work?
How often do they rain?
How
How
often does it
often?
rain?
Sorry, perdón, esa es la que...
How often do rain?
No, how often does it rain?
How
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 often
often
does
Does
it
it
rain?
rain?
Does it rain? Sí, ahí el they se fue de más porque es it. How often does it rain? Porque estamos hablando de la lluvia, ¿verdad? Okay, so let's continue. And here I have again the structure, but I have some exercises for you to participate. So remember that when we have a simple present sentence, you use the verb in the base form and then you say I study, you study, or he, she, it studies, okay? You, in the cases when the verb finishes in a Y, you change the Y for a Latin I, and then you add E-S, okay? I-E-S, in this case. He studies, she studies, it studies English. We study, they study, okay? Esa es la forma base para decir oraciones en presente simple. Yo estudio, tú estudias, y sabemos que para he, she, it agregamos ES. Hay algunas reglas que se las voy a compartir, no sé si alcance hoy, pero si no, en las próximas clases. Para agregar, en el caso de los verbos que terminan con una Y, se cambia la Y por I latina y se agrega ES, ¿verdad? Esa es la regla, la que podemos ver acá en lo que está coloreado en gris. Y esa es una oración en presente simple afirmativa. Cuando vamos a hacer una pregunta, repito, utilizamos la WH word and then we add the auxiliary, porque estamos haciendo una pregunta. Entonces agregamos el auxiliar do, ¿verdad? En todos los casos, a excepción de he, she, it, que agregamos does, and then the subject, ¿verdad? El sujeto va después del auxiliar, and then the complement, the verb study in this case, and the complement. So the question says, where do you study English? Where does he study English? Where does he study English? Where does it study English? Why do we study English? How do they study English? Okay, so dice que nunca hagamos las preguntas así. Who studies English? No se pregunta así, ¿verdad? Entonces ahí tenemos, solo déjenme mover un poquito para verlo yo completamente. Ahí está. It says, note, never ask who study English, ¿verdad? Porque cuando vamos a preguntar quién, estamos normalmente hablando de una tercera persona que puede ser he, she o it. Entonces, en ese caso, lo correcto es decir, así como está arriba, ¿verdad? Who does, en este caso, study English, ¿verdad? No who studies English, no es esa la forma, ¿verdad? Y aquí está la otra forma de poder hacer, ¿verdad? ¿Qué estudia? What do or does study? ¿Qué estudia? Or what does do? ¿Qué hace, verdad? And the answer could be she studies English or she studies English. ¿Ok? En el caso de la pregunta de arriba. So it says, fill in the blanks below to complete the sentences. Use the words in the above box. For example, I have an affirmative sentence and it says, Thomas studies English at college. Esa es una oración afirmativa. Si ustedes se fijan, el verbo, como estamos hablando de Thomas, dice studies. Thomas estudia inglés en el colegio, en este caso. Para hacer la pregunta, como estoy hablando de at college, estoy hablando de un lugar, entonces yo agrego la WH word where, ¿a dónde? Where does Thomas study? ¿Ok? Permítanme, me pasé, ahí estamos. Entonces, necesitamos voluntarios para tratar de armar los siguientes ejercicios. Ok, her friend lives in London. ¿Cómo lo haríamos la pregunta? Como dice in London, significa que voy a utilizar la WH word where. Entonces, ¿cómo creen ustedes que debería quedar esa pregunta? Ya tenemos el inicio, ¿verdad? De la WH word, where.
Where
Where
does she live?
Where does
Where does her
Where,
friends live?
where does,
Her
okay, her,
friend live.
ok, y acá este live lleva S o no lleva S?
Live sin
Ese.
S.
live?
Sin ese.
Sin S, ¿verdad?
Sin
Porque-
ese porque va el das.
Exactamente.
Ah, ok.
Where does her friend live? ¿Verdad? Ya no le ponemos la question mark porque ya la tenemos ahí. Ok, next example. Susan studies math. Ok.
What does
Does
Susan
What
study?
does her
She?
study?
What
What
does
does Susan
she? Por Susan, ¿verdad? What does,
she
pongámoslo como está. What does Susan?
study?
study?
Ok, great. What does Susan study? ¿Qué estudia Susan? Ok. Who? Eva lives in New York. So the WH word is who.
Okay. Who
who
does
does
Eva live?
Live.
Ok, pero como ya dijimos que es Eva, who
Who do?
who does
does
Does Eva
live,
live?
no, who does live in New York, porque la respuesta es Eva, ¿verdad?
Ajá, y que la pregunta es, ¿quién vive en Nueva York?
Yes. Entonces, cuando quiero hacer la pregunta, yo digo, who does live in New York? ¿Quién vive en Nueva York? Eva. Eva lives in New York. ¿Sí? Ok, next example. ¿Cómo nos quedaría el siguiente ejemplo? Okay. His
When-
brother always gets up at 6 o'clock in the morning. La información clave es at 6 o'clock in the morning. Nos están dando una hora. Entonces la WH word es when. ¿Cuándo?
and
When does his
When
brother
does
get
her
up?
his brother
Ajá.
Always get up.
Brother get
When does
get
his
up
brother
in the
get
morning.
up?
Get up.
Get up.
Get up in the morning.
O lo podemos dejar hasta ahí, ¿verdad? When does his brother get up? O le podemos agregar in the morning. Pero creo que quedaría mejor sin ponerle in the morning. When does his brother get up? ¿Cuándo se levanta su hermano? ¿Sí? Entonces la respuesta es his brother always gets up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Porque esa es the missing information when we ask the question. Okay, next example, number 6. Oops, ¿qué hice? Permítanme que no sé qué fue lo que hice. Ahí estamos. Okay, perfect. So, Mr. Brown goes to work by bus. So, the key information is by bus. So, the question is how?
How
How
does
does
Mr. Brown go
he
to work?
go to work?
Okay, great. How does Mr. Brown go to work?
Work.
Okay, perfect. Okay, next exercise 7. The affirmative sentence says, oops, the supermarket sells apples. Apples is the key information. So we have the question, what? The WH word, what?
What does
What does
The
supermarket sell?
supermarket sell.
Well,
Okay, great. Okay, perfect. Number 8, the affirmative sentence says they usually travel to the countryside on holidays. So the key information in the italics and bold says to the countryside. So we are talking about a place. And when we talk about a place, we use the WH word where. So
Where do they usually travel on holidays?
Okay, great. Where do they usually travel on holidays? Okay, number 9. We have there what? I mean, the information is Richard is a teacher. He teaches English. The key word is teaches. And the
What does
What does
What does
Richard
Richard
teach?
do?
what does
Richard teach.
Richard do?
but the verb is teach. So I can ask we do, but since I have a specific verb, I can say, what does Richard teach? Okay. What does Richard teach? Because it can be math or science, maybe. Okay. So what does Richard teach? ¿Qué enseña Richard? And he teaches English. Okay. Number 10. Okay. Can you hear me? Hello. Can you hear me? Hello, hello.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, okay. The bus goes to the shopping mall. The key word is to the shopping mall. That's the key information. So since
Where does
Where does
the bus
the bus
where does
go?
yes, where does the bus
The bus go.
go? Okay, great. You did a great job, my dears. Okay, now I'm going to project it in a bigger size. So I would like that you can ask first the question and then you can provide the answer like this. Where does her friend live? Repeat, please. Where does her
Where
friend
does-
live?
Where does
Where
her
does
friend live?
Friends live.
Like a question, right? Where does her friend live?
Where
Where
does her
does
friend
her
live?
friend live?
Her friend lives in London.
Her friend lives
Her friend
in
lives in
London.
in
London.
London?
Okay. What does Susan study?
What does Susan
does-
What
study?
does Susan study?
Susan studies math.
Susan
And
studies
studies
math.
math.
Who does live in New York?
Who does live
Who
in New
does
York?
live in New York?
Eva lives in New York.
Eva lives in
Eva
New
lives
York.
in New York.
When does his brother get up?
When does his
When does
brother
his
get
brother
up?
get up?
His brother always gets up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
His brother
His
always
brother
get up
always get
at
up
6
at
o'clock in the morning.
In the morning.
How does Mr. Brown go to work?
How does Mr.
Brown
Brown
go
go
to
to
work?
work?
Mr. Brown goes to work by bus.
Mr.
Mr.
Brown
Brown goes
to
to
work
work
by
by
bus.
bus.
What does the supermarket sell?
What does the
What does the
supermarket sell?
supermarket sell?
The supermarket sells apples.
The
The
supermarket sells
supermarket
apples.
sells apples.
Where do they usually travel on holidays?
Where do they
Where do
usually
you
travel on
usually
holidays?
travel on holidays?
Holiday.
They usually travel to the countryside on holidays.
They usually
They
travel to
usually
the
travel to the
countryside on
countryside
holidays.
on holidays.
Holiday.
Okay, what does Richard teach?
What does
What does
teach?
Richard teach?
Richard teaches English.
Richard
Richard
teaches
teaches
English.
English.
Ok, aunque podríamos haber también preguntado, como decía Katia, what does Richard do? Y podríamos haber respondido, he is a teacher, ¿verdad? Y podríamos haber respondido también de la otra forma que acabamos de decir. Ok, where does the bus go?
Where does the
Where
bus
does
go?
the bus go?
This bus goes to the shopping mall.
This bus goes to the
Goes
shopping
to
mall.
the shopping mall.
Okay, great. Now I would like that everyone, quiero que cada uno voluntariamente diga una de esas preguntas y oraciones. Okay. Nicolás, can you start, please?
Okay. How does, number 6, how does Mr. Brown go to work? Mr. Brown goes to work by bus.
Okay, thank you, Nicolás. Next volunteer.
Number 2, teacher.
Okay, go ahead.
Where does his friend live? Her friend lives in London.
Okay, great. Third volunteer.
Number 4.
Okay.
Who does live in New York? Eva lives in New York.
Okay, great.
Number 7.
Okay.
What does the supermarket serve? The supermarket serves apples.
Great. Next volunteer.
Number 5.
Okay.
When does his brother get up?
Okay.
His brother always get up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, great. Next volunteer.
Number 6.
Yes.
How does Mr. Brown go to work? Mr. Brown goes to work by bus.
Okay, great.
Number 2.
Okay.
Where does her friend live? Her
Live.
friend lives in London.
Okay, great. Next volunteer, or do we finish? Terminamos. You're so fast. Brilliant. Terminamos rápido. Ok, chicos, es día jueves, así que a mí me encantaría seguir trabajando con ustedes mañana, pero sé que el día viernes es libre. Así que lo único que les voy a pedir es que por favor vayan a la plataforma, ¿verdad? Y que puedan seguir avanzando con los temas, porque ya la otra semana sí le vamos a poner un poquito más de acelerador. ¿Verdad?
Teacher,
¿Sí?
fíjese que yo resolví la plataforma. Sin embargo, tuve problemas con los penúltimos ejercicios.
Ok.
¿Verdad? No pude, los contesté, pero no salían correctas las respuestas. Es posible que quizás me he confundido.
Vaya, lo que puede hacer es vaya de nuevo y mándenos capturas del error que le da, capturas de pantalla, porque así podemos identificar si es que realmente usted no está poniendo la respuesta correcta o que el sistema, permítanme.
No está dando la respuesta correcta.
O que el sistema también pueda estar fallando, ¿verdad?
Yo no sé si alguno de los compañeros ya la resolvió.
Ok, perdón, ¿hay alguien más, Julie?
Sí, yo
No,
también tuve un problema.
es que son respuestas largas, pero ninguna de las respuestas que yo resolví me las tomó como buenas. Entonces, no sé, como dice el compañero, si es error de uno o si será error de la plataforma. Yo le tomé una captura de pantalla, pero no sé si se la puedo enviar por correo.
Por el WhatsApp. Yo creo que nos serviría mucho si nos lo envía el grupo, porque así lo analizamos y vemos si es un error del sistema. Le decimos a Marvin que
Bruno.
Ok. ¿Les parece? Si intentan de nuevo y nos mandan la captura del error que les den.
También tuve, yo en la plataforma no he tenido mucho problema. Solamente que sí, cuando contesté una pregunta, sí me salió mal y en la conversación en lo que le pide leer a uno, le da exactamente más o menos las respuestas y hay que enumerarlas, ¿verdad? Entonces, pues hice que casaran y sí, la mayoría me salieron buenas, pero una no me salió, entonces ahí no entendí por qué, porque era la única que, no sé si me habría equivocado o lo mismo que ellos están posponiendo ahorita, ¿verdad?
Ok, lástima que ya la envió, ya no podemos ver. Si a alguien más le surge el mismo detalle que Isabel, veámoslo si gustan antes de enviar, a ver si es que es un error de programación o es que realmente hay que corregir, ¿verdad? Bueno, chicos, sí,
tuve un problema en la parte 1.12, creo, donde aparecía que diera respuestas cortas, pero ninguna forma me la aceptaba.
Ok, a veces son puntos o que a veces nosotros ponemos símbolos y tal vez no lo toma. Intentemos nuevamente y si no nos mandan la captura para ver cuál sería el error o lo reportamos a Marvin.
Sí, porque igual le puse el punto y todo eso y nada.
Es una sección donde le pregunta, ¿Are you from the United States? Is your teacher from Canada? Is your English class in the morning?
Okay.
Are you and your best friend the same age?
Vaya. Fíjense que con mi usuario no me deja, o sea, no me permite, voy a intentarlo, voy a ver si me permite escribir, pero si no les pediría si me ayudan en intentar nuevamente y mandarme las capturas, ¿sí?
Okay.
Yo voy a intentar por
Okay.
mi cuenta, pero si no, ustedes me ayudan en mandarme las capturas antes de enviar la respuesta final, ¿sí?
Yo en esa
Ok.
parte tuve problemas al principio porque pensé como el tema era como respuestas cortas. Las di cortas y me dio error, pero al ponerlas largas sí ya me las aceptó.
Ah, bueno, probemos, pero de todas maneras hay que capturar las pantallas para decirle a Marvin, porque entonces la instrucción no está casando con lo que el sistema espera de respuesta, ¿verdad?
Okay, teacher.
Bueno, chicos, muchas gracias. Les pido que por favor avancen para quienes no han podido avanzar, ¿verdad? En la sección 2.4 de Knowledge Check, ¿verdad? Y yo me quedaría por acá con la clase, ¿verdad? Para poder dejarles descansar y espero que el lunes nos conectamos ya con baterías recargadas, ¿verdad? Disfruten
Ok.
su fin de semana. Enjoy your weekend.
Have a nice
Okay.
weekend.
Thanks. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.